Hello friends, it's Dave here from SaveDex, here to bring you another Nintendo Switch review. Today I will be looking at Kharon's Crypt Even Death May Die, which is a top-down dungeon crawler. This one got Sophie's attention last week as an upcoming game with a fantastic look to it, clearly inspired by games from the Game Boy Color, even down to the border reflecting it. The game normally costs £10.95 or $14.95, but had a 15% discount for pre-order which lasts until the 3rd of February, which is tomorrow as we make this video, so our early viewers can hopefully jump on that as, to spoil this review early, this game is certainly worth getting, from our point of view anyway. So before you decide if it's worth it for you, let's explain what this game is. You take control of Kharon, who seems to be some sort of spirit. The blurb says that he's thought to be death himself and your main mission is to escape the dungeon. The dungeon is the main world of this game. Essentially, this game is like one massive Zelda dungeon. It's non-linear in design and you need to explore all the different rooms to find keys and other items to help you progress. Some rooms contain puzzles, some contain enemies. Completing a room can result in a chest appearing, a door to the next room unlocking, or a shortcut to a previous room opening. As a huge Zelda fan, I am right at home with this. But this is by no means a simple Zelda clone. I always say that a game can go from being good to outstanding with just one element to help it stand out, and with this game, it's the main mechanic, possession. This game, like I said, harkens back to the Game Boy Color days, in the fact that it utilises a control scheme that could be replicated on the original hardware. It just uses the D-pad, A and B, and start and select, although you can use the L and R buttons to replace A and B if you wish. When you play as Kharon in his ghost-like form, you cannot interact with anything, although you can still take hits from enemies. You can hold A to turn invisible, which lets you completely pass through things and hover over gaps, although you can only do this for a limited time. Pressing B shoots a projectile. If you hit an enemy enough times with this, they will get stunned and you can then hover over them to possess their body. Depending on your enemy, you have access to unique moves. Obviously, possessing enemies to utilise their movesets isn't a completely original idea. Two games that immediately spring to mind are Avenging Spirit from the Game Boy days and Super Mario Odyssey, but using it in a metroidvania style dungeon crawler the way they have is something I've never seen before and it works so well. If you take control of a skeleton for example, the A and B buttons will punch, but if that skeleton was holding a sword and shield, then those two buttons will use those items. The bats can be used to fly over pits, but they aren't able to push blocks or open chests. There are these hooded folk who can shoot magic balls around as handy projectiles. There's plenty to see and do here, and the puzzle element doesn't just come from working out a particular room, as you'll find your typical block pushing and such, but sometimes you don't have the right character. Maybe you can only access a room when you're a bat, as it's over a large hole, but that room requires a skeleton to open a chest. So you need to find an alternate way to access it with said skeleton. Things like that also make this game a real noodle scratcher and I'm having a wonderful time with it. When possessing an enemy, they will have a separate health bar to you, and your ghost form has a permanent energy bar above. If you lose all your health as the character you've possessed, you revert back to the ghost form. When that runs out of health, it's game over. This adds some strategy to the game. Sometimes if I'm fighting several enemies and I'm low on health, I'll let them destroy the character I'm playing as and then attack them as a ghost before possessing them. If I were to fight them beforehand, then they would have less health when I possess them. Things like this you do need to keep track of. The combat is a bit clunky to say the least. Even if you have a shield that you can use to block, you're inevitably going to take some hits at close combat, but that all feels like part of the charm. And the fact that you can dump the body and possess another one with full health makes it more forgiving. You gain other items as you go, which allow you to access new rooms such as explosives, and you can assign these moves to the A and B buttons as you wish, as long as your current character is able to use them. If you get a game over, you revert back to your last save point, known as Styx River. These are scattered around the map, and you have limited saves. You use these things called Lunin Scrolls to save your game. These can be found hidden around the dungeon, or you can buy them from merchants. I'm not usually a fan of limiting how often you can save, and it would have been nice not to limit it here, but I haven't been short of Lunin scrolls at all, but then I am saving a bit more sparingly than I otherwise would. The presentation of this game, like I said, mimics the Game Boy Color really well, and it honestly feels like a game that could have existed on there. You have the fantastic pixel art designs of the characters and some nice fog effects too. Everything is clear to see in the UI at the top, displaying your health, currency and items. The map is something you fill out as you enter each room, or you can purchase a map for the floor you're on. The map is basic, but it does the job. It doesn't show too much detail of what is in each room, but there is a legend you can bring up to let you know what symbol is which, whether a room contains a chest or point of interest for example. We do love a map, and this one worked really well. The music is also outstanding and it has a creepy Castlevania style tone to it. It does embrace the restrictions of the era it's trying to replicate really well, but sometimes a little too well. The presentation is fantastic overall and I love what they've done here, but in creating a 2-button control scheme to do all the moves, there is an extra move you can do, and that is exiting a body of your own free will, either to play as the ghost again or to try to possess something else. Here, you have to press A and B together, which isn't always responsive and sometimes takes several attempts to get right, which can be annoying when you have an item with limited uses on one of the buttons. But that's the only negative I have of this game. The layout of the world is fantastic and navigating my way around these dungeons is an absolute joy. There are also boss battles as well, which can have a puzzle element to them, needing to use an item you found to hit a weak spot. So overall, I am having a fantastic time with this game. I'm still making my way through it, but I wanted to get my thoughts out there of how this game plays and explain how it all works. And it's a fantastic idea that has been realised extremely well. There are pages you can find as well which explain the lore of this world if you so wish to read about it. For the price it costs, I think it's worth it even without that discount for the quality that is on offer. I have very much enjoyed my time with this game and I think this is one you should all possess. But that's just what I thought. How about you? Is this one you like the look of? And what was your favourite Game Boy Color game? I'm probably going to have to go with Pokemon Gold on that. Let me know in those comments down below and remember to hit that like and subscribe for more to come in the future. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.